Okay, hello everybody. So today I thought it was really important to put out a short video just on adrenal health because at the moment in my practice I'm seeing so many people coming in with a lot of seemingly unrelated symptoms, and they're unaware that this is actually very early warning signs, or not so early warning signs, that their adrenals are crashing and they are heading for adrenal burnout. So it's a phenomenon which I've seen in my clinic over the last 25 years, many times being presented, but usually it is with people that are a lot older. So 25 and up, I'm used to sort of seeing, but the very worrying thing for me actually is I'm beginning to sort of see children from 11 and 12 years of age up presenting with these symptoms. So I thought it was very important that we do a short video just so that I can help to alert people to these symptoms that patients are presenting with, and if it is you and you are experiencing similar symptoms, then give you some tips on how you can hopefully try to remedy this now before it gets to the adrenal burnout stage. It's a very common condition now, sadly, because of the age that we're living in. We're all under what seems to be quite a lot more chronic stress actually, so anything that this video can do to help along that way would be fantastic. Commonly people are coming in feeling absolute exhaustion, and I don't mean normal tiredness. Normal tiredness is something that we all go through, but this is chronic exhaustion to the point that they're waking up feeling absolutely tired. Now that might be something to do with the fact that adrenals will also cause disturbances in our sleep patterns. We find it very, very difficult to fall asleep no matter how tired we are if we're adrenally exhausted, and very often what will happen is we have very disturbed sleep. So we will be waking up throughout the night, and what tends to happen is our brains kick in, our minds start to process lots of worries or anxieties that we might have. And of course, this then lends itself to waking up feeling tired in the mornings, but not the exhaustion that a lot of people are experiencing. Other common symptoms of adrenal fatigue or adrenals heading towards fatigue will be suddenly lots of brain fog, lots of inability to remember things, concentrate clearly on things. It just feels like a sort of like pea soup in the head area. And the inability sometimes to remember people's names or words and sentences, and it's just a dullness, a stupor is sort of coming over. The body is also becoming very, very acidic in nature as the adrenals constantly are putting out adrenaline and cortisol into our bodies. It leaves a very acid ash, and therefore what we will start to see commonly is much more acid type of conditions in the body, such as aches and pains in the muscles and the bones. And this is why fibromyalgia is very commonly associated with ME and chronic fatigue, because the acid has built up over time while the adrenals have been getting more and more tired, and it has been depositing in the muscles and the joints, and it leaves people with this condition called fibromyalgia, which is incredibly painful. And it's where the body is just so immobilized pretty much from the amount of acid in them. The bowels, the gastrointestinal tract, is another area that we can commonly see a build-up of too much acidity, and that will then be shown with irregular bowel motions, more to the point actually loose bowel motions. So if you're finding that you are eating food but immediately it's sort of like leaving your body, you would put this down probably to anxiety, and that's very often the case because adrenaline does cause a huge overwhelming need for the person's body to empty themselves, but prolonged episodes of this happening will obviously cause malabsorption, poor absorption of nutrients into our bloodstreams. It will cause poor assimilation, and so we're not doing anything then to help our energy reserves in our body. So it's perpetuating the problem, it's adding to it. Not only have we got no energy anyway, but then our food is just not helping to give us those vital stores in our glycogen storage facilities to help produce energy. So we'll notice as well probably mood swings, or anxiety, depression starting to happen, because it's a vicious cycle where we become more anxious, more panicky, as the adrenaline is always surging around in our systems. And then of course we can become susceptible to panic attacks, which are not very nice at all and very hard to deal with at this stage. So all of these things that are occurring could be signs that your adrenals are getting more and more fatigued, and what you don't want to do then is get to adrenal burnout. So it may help as well to understand a little bit about what the adrenals are, because if we do, then we can try to understand how we can reverse perhaps the situations that are affecting us that might be allowing our adrenal glands to kick in more often. The adrenal glands are part of our endocrine system. They are two very small glands that sit in the lower part of our backs, above each of our left and right kidneys. And their job is to produce small amounts of adrenaline at irregular points in our lives to help us with immediate stress that presents itself. So it's a very, very strong energy that adrenaline will produce, and little bits of adrenaline will give this spike in energy that will historically allows us as mammals to either fight our perpetrator or flee away very, very quickly from the perpetrator. So what will happen is there's an immediate sort of stressor in front of us. The adrenal glands gets told this by the brain, and they're signaled a release of adrenaline. The adrenaline helps us to, in the case of, for example, an impala running away from a lion that's wanting to eat it for its lunch, the impala will then have this huge surge of energy that will allow it to run and hopefully outrun the perpetrator. If they successfully do this, then what you will commonly see in the animal kingdom is that in order to then shake off the adrenaline that has run through the bloodstream and all around the muscles of their body, they will have like a really big shake out at the end of this to release any adrenaline that remains in the system. And of course, we just don't do this. The other thing, of course, is that's happening to us is that this is a chronic stress that we are continually experiencing, because if it's physical stress from our jobs, school, overexertion, tiredness, oversubscribing ourselves, or it's emotional stress in our lives or mental stress in our lives, it's not just a one-off, it's happening all the time. And so what the adrenals are doing is constantly outputting this adrenaline on, off, on, off, on, off, until one day they just don't do on anymore. And that's when we will feel this extreme burnout, this extreme tiredness. So understanding how the mechanism is working will then help us to isolate in our particular lives where we are experiencing that stress. Is it physical? Is it mental? Is it emotional? Is it something of all of it? But with regards to treatment plans that we can employ at home, there is a fantastic group of herbal medicines out there that are called adaptogenic herbs. The adaptogenic herbs, by definition, help the body to adapt to a more stressful environment. So these are the ashwagandhas, astragalises, rhodiolas, Siberian ginseng, Korean ginsengs, licorice roots, and they're widely available now in teas and in powders. B5 as well is extremely important for adrenal health. So a B complex vitamin, for example, would really help the nervous system, and it would also help the adrenals. But employing lifestyle changes is really the most important thing. Once we know where the stress is in our life, we can start to help ourselves by minimizing that stress, by also getting really good quality downtime before bedtime. So no blue lights on screens. Trying to perhaps do breathing exercises, a bit of yoga nidra exercises, gentle exercises, nothing to stimulate the system. Drinking, lovely relaxing herbal teas before bedtime, such as chamomile and lime blossom, things like that to help to start to wind us down before bedtime, is going to then have less of a likelihood that the adrenals are going to be punching away at that time of night. So if you notice as well that you're getting dry mouth or metallic taste in your mouth, or you're getting sweaty palms or sweating more under the arms, if you're getting more aches and pains, things like that are really first signs that the adrenals are really starting to get fatigued. So be aware of this, be attentive to it. Try to moderate your lifestyle, avoid sugary foods, avoid sugary drinks, avoid stimulating drinks, and at all times, not just before bed. Avoid as well over processed carbohydrates. Eat whole foods, whole grains where you can. Keep those carbohydrates really clean, but white flours and white sugars and stuff like that are only going to be adding to the problem. Try and eat a very simple diet, protein in the form of either fish, animal or vegetable protein, with a nice big supply of vegetables and carbohydrates as well. All incredibly important for just stabilizing the lifestyle factors. And if it is mental and emotional fatigue that you're experiencing, then obviously acquiring some therapy or doing some yoga or something that you know that can help to quieten the mind and start to actually reinforce more calm in your life and deal with these issues that you've got. Anything else, guys? Any questions you've got, just pop some comments in the box below. I'm very happy to get back with individual questions if it helps, but I hope that's been helpful, and I hope that understanding the way that this can progress into something quite bad, adrenal fatigue, adrenal collapse, is not funny, and it can lead to other more serious conditions. I hope that will help. So leaving you with that message and hoping that it will serve you well. Bye for now.